Yo, 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 what's good? What's popping? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? How y'all feeling out there? How we doing? We back for another one. Man, I hope everybody's week was good. I hope you had a good time. If you're back in school, hope you're getting through these first couple weeks okay. You know what it is. It's the Everyday Shuffle with your boy Brandon J. Uh, and just coming to you with some with some convo, with some talk, just seeing how we getting through the week, man. So yeah, we should be in. Those of us that are in school, you know what this channel is. This channel is very much dedicated to those college students. I am a professor at a university, so that's what I do. You know, those that know, I dedicate this channel to my college students, but it's open to everybody, all students, all people of all ages and backgrounds. So, I'm just checking in. You know how I'm going to do weekly check-in. So what's popping? What's good? How's everybody doing? So yeah, man, what's going on? We back with another one. And let's talk about the week. What do we do? Last weekend was interesting. I worked a rave, and I'm just gonna jump right into it because this has been on my mind and has been my question ever since I worked this rave. So I've worked a couple raves for this past year, quite a few of them actually, and so I've worked these raves and I've gone to them and I've seen how they move at the raves, just what the vibe is at the raves. And man, let me tell you something. I got questions. If any of y'all out there that go to raves, that tune into this channel, man, I got questions. Please explain raves to me. Now, I was at this past rave I was at was a Nocturnal Wonderland, which is supposed to be apparently the mothership of raves. Like, this is the raves. This was like the rave. So I've worked a bunch of other ones, man, that are much smaller, at smaller venues down in Hollywood. This particular one, if you don't know about it, that just passed, Nocturnal Wonderland, is like this huge rave. Took place at Glen Helen Theater, Amphitheater, at the Glen Helen Park in San Bernardino. So it's a huge outdoor theater and a big, huge park, right? So they utilize the park, and people camped out. Like, you had like the people that, like, I guess had the weekend tickets. I think it was a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you had people who bought tickets and they camped out there. So people was camping out there the entire weekend. You had people that just came for whatever day, if they only got tickets for one day. You know how it goes. It's a festival. So I'm working it. I work both Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, man, I just got questions about raves. Like, what is it about rave? Now let me just set the scene a little bit, right? So the rave, the doors didn't open until like 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock maybe. So all day everyone's getting the crew and everybody, we're all prepping for it. Now it's at the Glen Helen Theater, and it's an amphitheater. A lot of concerts go on there. A lot more concerts could be going on there, to be honest. But like, I did a Hardy concert there, country artist. I worked a Limp Bizkit concert there, and it seats like several thousand. I don't know the exact number. Something like 8,000 to 10,000 seats. Could be more. Um, and so, but they didn't use, so Nocturnal didn't use the actual theater and stage. They used everything else but that. So they had their own stages. So they used all of the open field, all of the, pretty much all of the park. And so they had like, I want to say they had like 7 stages, right? 7 stages set up. 2 very huge stages, like 2 main stages, huge, and then a few other smaller stages. All the stages had a DJ, and I'm sure they had several DJs rotating through those stages, right? And raves, I'm gonna assume that most of us know about raves and like the music, right? So we have that rave music. Now you got 7 stages, and each stage is playing rave music, which to me sounds like the same music or the same song in essence the entire time. But they had the whole place decked out. I'm not gonna lie, to kick it. Like, it was real decorative. I mean, they had these huge like uh uh like mushrooms that they brought in as like as decoration that lit up at night. So they had a bunch of these like huge mushrooms spread out around, just different type of lighting, the trees, because again, this is a park. So the trees were even decorated with like balloons and like ornaments. And the trees, and not just like the lower part of the tree, like these are like 20, 30-foot tall trees, and they're decorated to the top of the tree. Like it took a lot of time. I believe like the prep time to set up was at least a month just to get all the setup and decorations going. So the whole place was like set up, and then you got your vendors out there and all of that stuff. So it was all decked out, and then once the sun goes, it starts at 4. People, the doors open at 4. It let people in, but it went all the way until like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. So once the sun goes down, and then all the lights start to come on, and all the decorating, you can really see decorations. I mean, it was a really cool looking thing, and I'm like, and looking at it like that. So I go and at nighttime, I'm like, yo, I could get down with this. This is pretty dope. Like I just like the scenery in itself. I was like, oh man, this looks pretty fun. But all those stages, all those DJs playing the same song. Like, how do y'all that go to like talk to me? Tell me something. How do y'all not get tired of hearing that same song over and over again? Because it's pretty much the same song with the same vibe and the same beats, right? So that in itself, like, is a thing to like get used to. Like I like, even if they had one DJ that just played different music, that switched the vibe up, they would have me. They would have me. I would check it out. But the mere fact that it's the same music the entire time for hours almost sounds like torture. Almost sounds like torture. So, for that part alone, I don't know if I'll be able to get down with it. But seems like people love to go and check these things out. Now, then you have the patrons, right? People coming to the rave, and then that is a whole thing. Like it's the costuming of it, right? And if you know raves, the costuming, or lack there is like you wearing little to nothing. I mean, it's just bikini tops and bikini bottoms, bra and panty sets, thongs. Like, you're pretty much wearing nothing, and you're supposed to get creative with that. I'm curious to how that, like, this is my deep dive thought process about it now, because again, I'm a professor of movement and dance and hip hop culture, right? So immediately when I go to see things and I see things like this, I'm already going into a deep dive thought process about it. And so now I'm curious to know where does the costuming come from? Like, who thought that that's what it is? Because I've been to raves before, or let me just say that. I have been to a rave before and heard of them. And in the 90s, back in the day, raves were the attire for raves were more goth than what they are now today. And I'm not mad at what they are today. Let me make that clear. I'm not mad at it. I'm just curious. I just want to know, where did it change and what created the change? So you have that happening. Now there was a handful of them. Some people, they were just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to throw on this bikini thong set and maybe throw some type of net stockings over it or whatever. It's very go-go dancer. That's what it is. It's very go-go dancer. And those who know go-go dancers. They used to have go-go dancers in nightclubs, and some nightclubs would have like a dancer on a stage on the outside of the dance floor near the DJ, or some clubs used to have them like in actual cages that would hang from the ceiling, and you had these go-go dancers in there, and the go-go dancers, that's what they would wear. So now it's like, that's the whole vibe as far as wardrobe and costuming goes for these raves. Very go-go dancer, right? And so I'm curious to know, where did it change from goth, all black, to go-go dancer? Barely nothing. Again, I'm not mad at it. I am just asking the question. You know what I'm saying? So, there's that. Then there's the other parts, the other types of costuming. Like, there were a lot of bananas. There's a lot of bananas just walking around the rave. And you might be asking yourself, or like, what you mean, Brandon, by bananas? No, I'm serious. Bananas. Different type of bananas. There were groups of people dressed as a banana in a banana costume. There were several people that just had blow-up bananas. Am I missing something here? Am I too old to know about this stuff? Like, am I missing the inside joke? I asked somebody who was coming through security, who was going to the rave. I was like, yo, hey, what's up with the bananas? They couldn't tell me. They was like, oh, I don't know, not really sure, but I guess it's just funny. Is it? Is it funny? Do we just laugh at bananas? I don't get it. But there was a bunch of bananas walking around this place. I don't understand. And I want to know what is up with the bananas. So if any of y'all know that watch this video, that watch this channel, yo, please, in the comments, tell me what's up with the bananas. Put your boy up on game. I need to know what's up with the bananas at the raves. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the other people who are like dressed up in like furry costumes, like as big furry animals. Now, I was having this conversation with my class, and I was asking them about these things. And I mentioned the furries. And I don't know if they know about the actual furry community. There's an actual community of furries, and I couldn't really like go deep into like explain it, but I could tell they didn't know. Like they think it's one thing, but what I'm talking about is something totally different. And there's a whole community of people like where they meet up at like clubs or places or venues dressed in these furry costumes, and they get off on that. Like it's a thing. It's like a thing where they rub up against each other, and it's like they get off on it. It's like they humping in furry costumes. That is an actual thing. Now that I know is an actual thing through because I'm just educated on a lot of things and I just know about stuff, not because I'm into it, anything like that. But that is an actual community. So I'm wondering if that is the correlation, if that's the reason. Otherwise, why would you be going to this venue? Why would you be going to this event in a big furry costume in 100-degree weather? That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't sound like fun at all. But it was a bunch of that happening as well. So it's a lot of, it's very just random looks. Like there's the total go-go look, but then there's just these sprinkles of random costume looks. You have the furries, you got people dressed up as like characters from maybe even like anime or video game characters. Like it's different. It's random. I'm not mad at it. I dig it. Like, cool. Again, I'm not knocking it. I just want to know. I just want to know what it's all about. Teach me what's up with raves. Then, so you have that. You have the music, the rave music, which is the EDM stuff, electronica, EDM, which isn't really my bag because it just all sounds the same. It doesn't, and it's not really like real DJing to me. No shade to anybody out there who's DJ, but it's just, I come from a culture of like real MCing, real DJing, really mixing on the spot, scratching. Like I come from that. So these mixes that you put together at the crib, and then you come and you just hit play, and then but they're going crazy. And these rave DJs, these EDM DJs, like they really monetizing off this, and pretty much all of them have a cult following. Like people like come to these raves just to see certain DJs, which I don't get. And I'll sit there because I'm working these shows, I'm listening to these sets that these DJs are playing, and I'm like, yo, you're playing the same stuff over, and the people are going crazy for it. I don't get it. But hey, to each his own. So you have the music, you have the go-go costuming with the sprinkle of the furries and the sprinkle of the anime and the sprinkle of the characters and all these things happening. And then you have the scenery. So all those decorations I was talking about, even like at each DJ place, even in the small venues and at this particular big venue, like it's all about the lights, the psychedelic lights, all the psychedelic shapes and lighting, and it's like they're really big on that. Like it's almost a featured act in these raves, and they're really big on the strobe lights and the psychedelic shapes and all those things. So then there's that element, and then you have the final element, the drugs. These people are clearly rocking off some kind of substance. I know they are because we have to confiscate it when they come through. If I haven't mentioned this, I do private security on the side. So I work a lot of venues, right? So I work a lot of events, concerts and raves, and just different types of events. So we get briefed on these things. We get briefed on like what drugs are going to be coming in, what drugs are not let come in. Obviously, everybody's smoking weed, cool, whatever. Boom, there's that. But then there's like other stuff, like like the perks and the uppers and the downers, and oh my god! So you got all the drugs. So in order to enjoy yourself at these raves, I'm asking, is it about all of it? The music, the lights, the costumes, the furries, and the drugs, so that in order to like really enjoy it, because I don't understand. And they're packed out, but at the same time, nobody is dancing. There's no real dancing happening. And I don't see a lot of real mingling happening with people outside of your group. So people come in groups. You go there, you got your clique with you. People are rocking, you know what I'm saying, going there and they cliques and they're doing their thing. But I didn't see a lot of intermingling. Now, then there also is another element of these raves, which is the gift giving. So a lot of people come in and have a bunch of these little trinkets and little small gifts. It could be little light up mushrooms or bracelets. Bracelets are a big one. Sometimes they put these like flowers together on these hair clips and they pass those out. So I have a few things, and I feel like, and people just walk up to you and they'll give you their trinket and give you their gift, which I think is very sweet. I actually really like that part about it. I think it's very it's something about that I dig it. I also feel as though, because I'm in uniform, I'm working in, and I'm in uniform, so I've had people to come up to me and like give me a thing and put a bracelet on me or a clip of flower on me, and I feel like I'm supposed to do something back. I have no idea what it is, though. I don't know. I feel like it's supposed to be like this exchange. And I obviously have on a uniform, so I'm obviously not there to just enjoy this rave. So I don't have any trinkets, but they hand it to me. But I feel like there's supposed to be like an exchange thing that happens that I don't know about. So there's so much about this thing, about raves, that I'm like curious about and don't know about. And I am looking for answers. I would love to get some answers on some of these questions because I don't get it. And like I was saying, the dancing, I'm a dancer. So I'm always looking for, trying to find that element of it. And there's not a lot of dancing happening. Matter of fact, there isn't really any dancing happening. There's a lot of jumping up and down. But exchange, social dancing, which is weird to me because especially at this nocturnal Wonderland, there was like thousands of people at this event. And I didn't see any like social mingling happen. And that is interesting to me. That is very interesting to me. So I want to know more about that, and how can you be around that many people and not socially interact with them? Like, maybe, I don't know, like, tell me, like, fellas or women, whoever, like, how many numbers are y'all getting? How many phone numbers are y'all getting at these, at these joints? How many, how many Instagram, social media handles are being exchanged at this thing. Is that happening? Is that a place where things like this happening? Because I don't see it. I'm not seeing it happen. And especially the dancing part of it, like people are like next to each other and music is playing and not turning to that person and exchanging energy and dancing. I don't get it. Somebody put me up on game. Somebody tell your boy what's going on. What is the deal? What is, if you go to these raves, please, I would love to know your experience. Tell me what it's about. Because I'm curious and I don't get it. I don't know. But that's what I noticed. That's what I mean, I worked it. Like I said, I worked the Nocturnal Wonderland, and that was me the whole weekend assessing this event and like what's really going on here. And are you guys really having a good time at this thing? Because is it about just going to a place and being amongst other people who are just on the drugs? Is the drugs the star of these events? Like, I don't know, because sober, I don't see how anybody could really enjoy it sober. So, although they did have a booth, like a whole tent dedicated to sober people, that I found very interesting also. But hey, dope. Embrace everybody. It was quite empty. Wasn't a lot of people in that tent, but it was there. So I appreciate the effort. But nonetheless, that's what that weekend was about. And yeah, man, if any of y'all out there go to these things, please hit me up in the comments. Let me know. Teach me about these raves, because I don't get it. I'm not knocking it. I want to get it, but I don't. It's the music for me. To be quite honest, it's the music. For me, it's the music. That's what would kill it for me. I couldn't listen to that for hours at a time. It would be too much. Not much else happened this week, man. Like I said, we got another week of class. Some of us have been back in school for a couple weeks now. Some of us are probably just about to get back this week. I know this week a lot of the UCs start back, so we'll see how that goes, and it'll be week 1 for us, or week 0, so to speak, because the first day of class is on a Thursday. So I'm excited to see what's going on there. So yeah, what else? What's going on? What's been happening this week? Not a lot happening, man. Yo, I asked this question to my students this week. So here's the question of the week. What is your favorite, and I'll ask it to you guys as well. What is your favorite hip hop album? Who is your favorite hip hop artist and or album? Who's your favorite hip hop artist and or album? And here's what I'm finding. This isn't the first time I've asked this question to my class. In the past, I've asked this question, and I'm starting to get a lot of the same response, and I'm curious about that. Now, my classes are pretty big at UC Riverside. Pomona College, it's a small college, it's a private college, so classes aren't huge, but for the sizes of, like, my class is a big class, considering the sizes of the other classes, right? So I'm getting a lot of the same response. Majority of my students don't have a favorite hip hop artist and or album. The majority. I also find that interesting. I think they really have to think about it, right? So then I asked the question. I had a handful of them had a favorite artist. You know what I mean? And some of them, even in half of that handful, had an actual favorite album. So then I asked the question, and I want you to think about that. I asked it to you. Who's your favorite hip hop artist and or album? Now, the rest of the class who didn't have a favorite hip hop artist and album, I then asked the question, why? Why don't you have a favorite hip hop artist and or album? And a lot of them says they don't really listen to hip hop like that. And I find that interesting. For the mere fact that they're taking a hip hop class. So usually, I assume if you're taking a hip hop class, you have some kind of love and appreciation for the culture of hip hop, or you could be very curious. You could, you're bi-curious about hip hop. You know what I mean? You love country music, but you're a little bit bi-curious about what's going on over there in the hip hop. And I dig that. I'm here to help you with your curiosity when you take my class. So there's that. But a lot of them don't listen to hip hop music. And I've had students tell me that I am their induction to hip hop. So however, for whatever reason they decided to take the class, they needed a credit, they needed a class to take, you know what I mean, to satisfy their credits and units. So they ended up in that class, or again, bi-curious about hip hop and want to learn more. They thought it'd be a cool thing to do. So cool. So there's that. So I find that interesting. That they don't really listen to it like that. And that's been happening in a lot of my classes. Also, there was one year I've asked that question, and I got a bunch of students say, "Oh, I don't listen to hip hop. I mostly listen to K-pop." And I'm like, interesting. And I mean, a bunch of different. I'm just put it out there. Like, I've had like a lot of black students that are like, "Oh yeah, I just listen to K-pop." I was like, "Word, okay, cool." And I dig it. I dig K-pop. I got some K-pop in my playlist. Stray Kids. I like them. So okay, cool. Although K-pop is a derivative of hip hop, like you gotta call a spade a spade. K-pop get that vibe comes from hip hop. So we have to acknowledge that. But then I began to be curious about what is it about hip hop that they're not diving more into that culture, being that hip hop is all over the place. And also, like, I just heard about a poll that was being taken about the most influential cultures in America. And I believe the top 3, which are interesting, The top three were Latin culture at number 3, Japanese culture at number 2, which I thought Latin culture would definitely be at number 2 as most influential. And African American culture, Black culture at number 1. So, with that, to know that the majority of my classes don't even listen to hip hop, like don't really listen to it like that. Now, I'm curious to know if this is happening mostly like in academia, like at the institutions, because again, that's where I am. I'm in the institutions. I'm at these colleges. I'm teaching these classes, but I'm learning that more and more of students are not listening to hip hop like that. Not to the point of having a favorite artist and having a favorite album. I find that interesting, and I'm trying to dig deeper into that. So those of you who may be out there and don't have a favorite hip hop artist and or album, like answer that question for me as well. Like, tell me more about that. I would love to hear more about that. The why of that. And hopefully even those that are maybe following this channel that I don't get to see inside the classroom, you know what I mean? Maybe I can help be your introduction to hip hop as well. I would love to do that. So I pose that question to you guys too, for those who don't have one. You know, why is that? When we live in a place where it's probably the most influential culture in America. Not even probably, it is. Right? So I find that very, very, very interesting. Another thing I found interesting is that I've been like in my class, you know, I also like hold discussion. I ask questions. I want to know more about my students. So I pose questions out there in hoping to get like feedback. I'm learning that students have a hard time communicating like with the professor. And I asked them because like, yo, are y'all just not used to like professors talking to you and having like, do you guys have discussions in your other classes? And some of them say, you know, I've had some students to say, nah, we don't really have discussions like that. But I've had other students. Then I've had other students say, "Oh yeah, we have discussions, but we get to prep for those discussions." So they get, you know, the professors will give them questions to go home, prep, look over, study, come up with, I guess, answers or ways to converse about whatever particular topic and or question, and then come back and then have the discussion. Nothing very impromptu, which I find interesting. I'm very like I get the prepping, the giving questions to go home, prep, understand them, research it, come back and have something to speak on. I get that part of it. Here's the part of it that I don't get, and that this is the part about the higher institution that I also don't get. And I may have covered this in another video before. Like, the point of the institution, the point of the college institution is to prep you for the real world, for what comes next, to prep you for whatever degree you're seeking out, whatever your major is. It preps you for that particular field, but college in itself should be preparing you to be able to be a functioning human in regular society. That is supposed to be the point of college. And I'm learning that these basic communicative skills are not being exercised in the institution. I find it interesting because I go to talk and pose these questions, and here I am teaching about a curriculum and an art form that is, according to the polls, the most influential here in America. And probably in a lot of other countries as well. Not even probably. It's definitely more influential in a lot of other countries as well. So here I am about something of pop culture, asking questions, thinking that, oh, this is easy. I should be like, this is something that should be relatable. So I should easily be able to like bounce conversation. We should be able to bounce conversation off one another. And it is hard. And I'm asking questions, and I'm not asking questions that they have to really think about. I'm asking about you. What is your favorite thing? What is your love for hip hop? What is your favorite artist? What is your favorite album? Who do you like to listen to? Like, I'm asking questions about you that I want you to tell me about yourself. And we are struggling. Excuse me. We are struggling with these answers. Students are somewhat afraid to voice their opinion, is what I'm getting from some of them. Don't know how to articulate their opinion, probably. And I find that interesting, man. And if I get any professors or teachers to come across this channel, like, yo, we got to do better. We got to be preparing these young people for society. It can't just be about read these chapters, write this paper, study these questions, come back and have a very structured answer. Like, that part is okay, but it also has to be about how we communicate. I should be able to ask you questions and then start to engage. Like, that's how real world works. Like, that's how that's supposed to happen. And it's probably why I'm at these raves and seeing thousands of people or even hundreds of people standing next to each other and not talking, not engaging with one another. It's weird. We got to do better. We got to do better. So I make it a point. Like, years ago, I made it a point to start having discussions in my class. And they don't have to be long discussions. And by discussions, I really mean that. I'm not sitting there lecturing to you. I don't want to sit there and just talk at you. I want us to engage in a back and forth tennis match. You know what I mean? I want to rally these topics off one another. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what real life is. That's how you move in society. You know what I mean? And college definitely is supposed to be the place where we exercise that, where we really work that muscle, so that when we get in society, we're like really functioning humans in society and know how to engage with one another on many different topics, right? So I noticed that that's been a thing as well. So yeah, professors, if you're a teacher, professor, come across this channel, man, yo, we got to do better. We definitely got to do better at prepping these young people for what's about to happen in the real world. So yeah, I got don't know if y'all heard that, but we got some stray cats that hang out. Well, a stray cat. Well, no, there's many stray cats, but there's one particular stray cat that is particular to this house that practically lives in this. This is their residence as well, but the other stray cats, and she's a female, so she just had pups. I don't know. Something's happening. It'd be some drama with the cats out here. I got the window open, so you guys might have heard that. But anyway, moving on. So yeah, that happened. That happened. So I asked that question. That was the question of the week. Favorite hip hop artist, favorite album. Learning that the students having a hard time communicating, or not even communicating, but just really like opening up. And I think that's really the struggle about it. Like they're so trained to a professor talking to them and lecturing at them. They don't when they come across one that really is trying to like engage in conversation and really is asking like for their opinion about something. They're shocked by it and don't really know how to react. So yeah, that's a thing. So I do more of that. A couple years ago, I made it a point to start adding discussion into my classes because I noticed that was happening, and it's pretty successful, man. My students really appreciated it. Really were very grateful for like having those discussions. It really opened them up. So yeah, it helped. It helped a lot. So I think that's a good thing. So yeah, teachers, professors, you come across this channel, man, we got to do better. Let's do better. Let's really make these young people functioning humans, so that when they graduate and they really know how to move out here. What else? What else happened this week? New music. Got some more new music that dropped. I'm still catching up on some of the old music. Jermaine Dupri. I meant to mention this in last week's video. Jermaine Dupri dropped an album. Jermaine Dupri, if you don't know who Jermaine Dupri is, because a lot of people that watch my channel are younger students of mine. Jermaine Dupri is like a producer, is like that producer, like is one of the top producers in hip hop and R&B, period, right? Like Jermaine Dupri is him. Producer, rapper, hip hop mogul, like a legend in hip hop, period, right? So Jermaine Dupri just produced he's from Atlanta, Georgia, and he just produced a documentary on Magic City. And Magic City is a strip club in Atlanta, Georgia. In hip hop, especially in Atlanta hip hop, like hip hop artists, like new music has the pipeline through the strip club first. And if it becomes a hit in the strip club, then you know it's going to be a hit on radio. You know what I mean? You know you got something. So that's been the thing for years, right? If you get it popping in the strip club, then you know you got something, right? The strip club will always tell you when you got a hit. So it's a really, really, really cool documentary about Magic City in the history of this particular strip club in Atlanta, Georgia, and what it means to Atlanta, Georgia, and the people from Atlanta. Really, really dope documentary. I encourage you to watch it. Again, Magic City. He just dropped the soundtrack or an album dedicated to the documentary. Pretty much trap, like all trap music and Um, really joints for the strip club. Like it's fire. It's fire. Um, so yeah, check that out. Jermaine Dupri. It's called Magic City. Produced by Jermaine Dupri. And there's some slaps on there. I mean, you got Killer Mike on there, you got T.I. on there. I think you got Future on there, a bunch of Atlanta artists, and it's all Atlanta, Georgia artists on there. So it's really, really, really dope. Newer artists, older artists, really, really dope. Like it's a dope album, and it's an easy listen, beginning to end. Who else? What else? New music. I just skimmed through the. I ain't really skimmed through, but I started. I'm several tracks in now in the new Cardi B. Them first several tracks, I ain't gonna lie to kick it. There's some slaps on there. There's some slaps. I haven't finished it, but it's definitely some slaps on the new Cardi B. So yeah, I'm gonna finish that up and get that another listen. And because that just dropped. Who else just dropped? Let me look at my notes. See who else we got. Talks amongst yourselves. Till I get to my notes. Oh yeah, that's all. That's Cardi B, Jermaine Dupri. And I got music that I gotta catch up on. I gotta catch up on. I still gotta listen to. What's the guy's name? I can't think of his name. It'll come to me later. But I got a lot of music. I still got music I got to catch up on. Like a lot of older artists been dropping too. Just to drop a few names, I think Ice Cube just did a new album. Rakim just dropped a new album. Got some mixed reviews about that. Kwame just dropped another album. Got mixed reviews about that. So I'll check it out, see how it is. And I think I mentioned this in another video too. MC Lyte dropped the album that I don't think got enough play. Like, she's her. And these older artists that are dropping albums, I think is very dope. But MC Lyte's album was pretty dope to me. I really liked it. So I would say check that out. Speaking of albums, going back to the previous conversation about asking my students about the albums and their favorite artists. Also, what was said is that they just don't listen to albums like that. They usually just pick a song, and if a song is hot, they'll pick a song. So that, which also led to them not really having a favorite artist. Like if a song is hot and it gets played, or they hear it, they so by chance stumble upon a song that's popping, they'll just like that song and put that into their like playlist, but not really go and see what albums is there. See, I'm different, but then I came up on like when your favorite artist dropped the album, or when artists dropped the album, it was a whole thing. It was a whole event. Like you had to go down to the record store and buy the album. Sometimes you're waiting in line for this particular person's album to purchase this particular person's album. It was a whole thing. You got the album, you bought it, whether it was a CD, and then you're reading the back of the CD. You learn, like, you just learned all these things. Like that was a whole thing. And being that that's not a thing anymore, it's just as simple as streaming. So I guess it's not as big of a deal anymore. But a lot of my students were saying that they just don't listen to albums like that. And for me, like, even if I hear a song that I like and I look at and I find out who sings that song, it actually automatically draws me to say, well, let me check out their album. Because if this song is dope, maybe they had a bunch of other songs on their album that I might like. And sometimes it's true. There's been several artists that somehow or another they they slipped into my algorithm, and so I'm like, oh, I like this song. Let me check out the album, see what the album's like, and then I get turned on to like a new artist that I hadn't heard before and a bunch of their music. Sometimes the one song was just the one song, was the only slap on the album, and that's that. But usually that happens. So yeah, I would just go to, you know, if I hear a song, I'll go. I immediately want to check out the album to see what the albums are like. But I got a lot of students who are not listening to albums, so I'm gonna start dropping. I'll also ask that too. Let me, if that's the case for any of you, that you're just not listening to albums. And you know, some artists, I've also heard some of my students say that there's just some artists that, or a lot of artists that's not putting together a cohesive album that's worthy of listening to from top to bottom. I respect that. I understand that. That makes sense. Not not to be like bashing new artists or younger artists, but I've seen that very consistently in the newer artists than I have in the older artists. Just putting songs in an album to satisfy, just to be able to push an album out and sell it, rather than really being backed by a record company and really putting thought into the album and making sure that they're putting together like a cohesive album and telling a story and like really doing a thing. And lately we've been getting a lot of good music coming out. So all those artists that I've been really listening to lately have been really good albums. So I told my students, man, I'm gonna start dropping some albums in there that I think would be really good albums for them to listen to and check out. And then we come back and discuss and talk about it. So yeah, let me know if that's also the case for you too. And then there's some students that's like, I just know I don't have the attention span to listen to a whole album. And that's because they, you know, we've now been conditioned with through social media to have such a short attention span, because, you know, especially with TikTok and the very short videos, anything that's longer than 30 seconds, you know, they're losing interest. So, and they're aware of that. The students that I've talked to are very much aware of that and knowing that that's why their attention span is low, and they're not proud of it. So I respect that. So yeah, I'm gonna start dropping some albums. And also, if there's any of you out there that know of some good music and albums, yo, pass it my way. I would love to check it out. Drop it in the comments, man, so I can check it out, because I'm always looking for new music. I say that's the beautiful thing about hip hop right now. There's so many artists, so much music out there. There's no way to like know about everybody. So I'm always learning and being put on to like new music and new artists. I love that. So yeah, if y'all know of any new artists or just artists that you may haven't heard of, yo, please drop them in the comments, man. Let me know. I'm always looking for new music, new people to listen to. Yeah, that's all I got for my new music segment, man. Still listening to some stuff, still catching up on things, but yeah, the Cardi B so far got some slaps on it. She got some slaps on it, so I'm not disappointed, and she's shooting some shots at some people too. If you're a lyric listener, she's shooting some shots at some people, so it's a little bit of drama inside there too. But it's a so far it's a pretty dope dope album. Jermaine Dupri, Magic City, dope album. That's one, the Jermaine Dupri Magic City one. That's one that's the play when you know you about to go out on Friday, Saturday. Like when you get ready and you know what I mean, you about to get out there and do your thing. You about to get out of here, get out in these streets, and about to be outside. I'll put that one on. I'll put the Magic City on. Try it out. Check it out. If you haven't checked it out yet, check it out. But yeah, that's all I got for new music, man. What else? I don't have any church announcements. Nothing happening right now as far as like shows and anything like that I got going on. Like I said, school about to start back for the UC, so literally tomorrow is the first day of classes. I'll let you guys know how that go. But yeah, once at some point, Nutcracker, I'll be doing that, and that'll be coming around. So I'll let you guys know about that. I have all those church announcements for you when we get closer to those dates. But other than that, man, yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Everyday Shuffle and tuning in to your boy. Again, I'm the talented Brandon J. Just trying to reach out to my people, reach out and talk about the culture, talk about movement, talk about dance, talk about hip hop, talk about music, and what's really going on out there in the culture. And not just hip hop culture, man, just dance culture, period. You know what I mean? So, yeah. If you got things going on and you guys out there that I don't get to see and talk to, if you got stuff going on, you got some church announcements and you got some shows popping off, especially those that I know, please let me know about them. I try my best to make it. Shout out to MJ, one of my former students at UCLA right now. I know she be hitting me. She always good at hitting me up about her shows. I try to make the ones that I can. I get busy. MJ, I apologize to you. Shout out to you. If I don't get to make it to all your shows, but I do get them. Please don't stop texting me about the shows. I always want to know about them. And if I can make it, I'm going to come out there and support you. You're one of my favorite people. What else? Yeah, man. That's about it. Yeah, so yeah, that's, like I said, just reaching out to all my dance peeps out there, my dance folks. Take care of yourselves. Eat right. You know what I mean? Exercise. Stay in shape. Stay moving. Stay active. Stay training. And all that good stuff, man. And till next time, man. I thank you guys for tuning in with us. Keep me in your prayers. And I keep you in mind. Till then. Till the next time, I see you guys next week with another one and another one and another one. And peace and love. Take care.